this young woman, you may be half good. And that inaugurates her charge to workers to be brave, to stand up to the guards en masse, to not doing it as an individual, but to do it en masse. And to say to the women, what she said to this Emma Haas is that, you're as good as any of the men, and we're going to send you to school so you can become the next labor leader. So she got the group to actually, in the midst of the strike, raise funds for her. And the girl did become one of the unsung labor heroes of the time. And anyway, that injunction caused them to call for a general strike. In the spirit of 1877, they said, what we need now, more than ever, is for all workers across the country to go on strike with us, to challenge capitalist power. They called a meeting in St. Louis. It was at first supported by Samuel Gompers himself, that old traditionalist, and then he repudiated it. And the railroad union slowly repudiated it. You all know this story. This has happened in our lifetime so many times, where the top leadership defies the radical spirit on the ground. And what happens is that loses. That struggle loses in West Virginia and Pennsylvania, and most of the next 40 years is spent building unions in those two states, by the mine workers. So that was one of the legacies, is the tramping strike. But people carried forward this memory from 1897 really to the 1930s, the unemployed movement. People started talking about the legacies of 1877 in the unemployed movement in St. Louis and learning from that. And it was what they did again, marching strikes, shutting things down. That brought victory. In 1937, in the general strike, the sit-down strike at Emerson Electric, they did exactly what the East St. Louis workers did. They learned from them. They told the mayor that they would like to be deputized as police officials for the purpose of the strike. They had read about what happened in East St. Louis in 1877, where the mayor there said, okay, go ahead. Well, I have 12 police officers, so the rest of you can be police officers. That was really an effective shutdown. So they got police power, and that's how they sustained a 53-day strike. So if you think about it, 1877 inaugurates this long memory and this long series of struggles that I would say actually could be properly dated. The end point is the 1970s. Why do I say that? Because since the 1970s, we have become out of practice with struggle. Completely out of practice. For any of you who watch statistics, it's not hard to see the statistic.